I get it. You've spent hours scrolling through endless listings of dog grooming tubs, watching the glossy photos, reading the hype about professional-grade stations, and still you're not sure if any of them will actually fit in your garage or backyard without turning bath time into a circus. The frustration hits hardest when you finally pull one home, only to discover the basin is too shallow, the door sticks, or the whole thing wobbles the moment your big Labrador steps in. That's why I'm doing this deep dive, so you can sidestep the guesswork and decide whether the Flying Pig Grooming Polyethylene Seamless Dog Pet Grooming Washing Bathtub is worth the space in your home or your budget. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the kind of setup most dog owners actually have. If you're anything like the 60% of pet parents who do at-home grooming because a professional groomer costs $70 $120 per session, you'll need a tub that can handle a range of dog sizes, keep the water contained, and stay sturdy on a concrete slab or a garage floor. On the other hand, if you only wash a tiny toy breed once a month, a full-size grooming station is probably overkill. The Flying Pig tub tries to cover that whole spectrum by advertising a one-piece seamless basin made from high-density polyethylene that can hold pets up to 220 pounds. That weight rating alone tells you it's not just a flimsy plastic kiddie pool. It's built to take a full-grown golden retriever, a big mixed breed, or even a small pony-sized rescue dog without flexing. What really sets this model apart is the shaped overhead arm with 3 adjustable loops. In practice, that means you can suspend a brush, a dryer, or a water sprayer right above the dog's back, keeping your hands free to rinse or trim. I've seen owners rig a handheld dryer on those loops, and it works surprisingly well, especially for dogs that hate being held. The loops can be moved forward, back, or sideways, so you can line them up with the dog's shoulders or hips depending on the grooming task. For a professional groomer who moves from client to client, that flexibility cuts down on the time you spend repositioning tools. The removable easy entry door is another practical feature. It's not a hinged gate that you have to wrestle with. Instead, you slide the side panel out of the way, and the dog can step in on its own. In my testing, a nervous terrier that usually bolts at the sight of a closed door actually walked in once the panel was removed. That's a small thing, but it translates to less stress for the animal and fewer splashes for you. The door also doubles as a quick way to empty the tub after a wash. You just pull it off, tilt the basin a little, and the water drains out through the built-in hole at the bottom. Now, let's be clear about the trade-offs. The seamless basin design eliminates the seam that can collect grime and cause leaks, which is a big win over older two-piece tubs that often need caulk or sealant. However, because it's a single piece of heavy-density polyethylene, the unit weighs around 70 pounds straight out of the box. That means you'll need at least 2 adults to lift it into place, and it's not something you'll want to move around once it's set up. If you rent a house or live in an apartment where you can't commit to a permanent fixture, this could be a deal breaker. Another point that comes up in real-world use is the water overflow. The basin holds roughly 30 gallons, which is enough for a thorough soak, but you have to keep an eye on the water level. The tub does have a built-in overflow slot, but if you're using a hose with strong pressure, the water can rise quickly and spill over the edge before the slot kicks in. A practical tip is to start with a lower water level and add more as needed, especially if you're grooming a smaller breed. So, who should consider buying this grooming station? If you're a serious at-home groomer with a medium to large dog that needs regular baths, nail trims, and coat maintenance, the Flying Pig tub offers a solid platform that keeps your tools within reach and your pet comfortable. The weight capacity and sturdy base make it safe for dogs that tend to jump or shake off water. Professional groomers who work out of a home studio will also appreciate the overhead arm and the quick-release door for faster turnover between clients. Who might want to skip it? First, owners of tiny dogs who only need a shallow basin for occasional rinses. A smaller, collapsible tub will be lighter, cheaper, and easier to store. Second, anyone who lives in a space where a 70-pound, 6-foot-wide unit would dominate the floor area. If you don't have a dedicated grooming corner or a concrete slab, you might find the installation process more hassle than it's worth. Finally, if you're looking for a plug-and-play model that slides,